It stunk, it wasn't working, and so they dumped it. That's the classic consumer response to a crummy product. In this case, the consumer is the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office. After years of being stuck with a state government phone system that caused endless problems, DA Carrie Brandenburg defied the bureaucrats in Santa Fe and got a private phone set up. She claims it's better and it's cheaper. The bureaucrats say, doesn't matter, you can't do it. Here's Kim Holland on special assignment.
It's the call of public service to save taxpayers money whenever possible. The Bernalillo County District Attorney says it's her duty to do that, but she says she's getting major pushback from the state.
We have been being billed regularly for services that they aren't providing us.
You see, it all has to do with the high-tech computers secured in the basement of a state building. They're responsible for running the statewide phone system, one that provides telecommunication for almost everyone in state government.
This is one of the craziest situations I've ever seen as district attorney.
Larry Barker first exposed the problem in a 2012 investigation. The DA's office asked the New Mexico Department of Information Technology, or DO-IT, if it could get out of the state central telephone system to go with a cheaper, more reliable system.
People would call us and we'd never get their messages.
But DO-IT denied the request, said they couldn't stop using the state's phone system. DA Brandenburg says she was baffled. She wasn't willing to stick taxpayers with a $14,000 a month bill for service and phones she said were out of date and unreliable. So she was ready to break the law and disconnect service anyway. Last March, the DA's staff gathered up all the state's phones and dumped them on DO-IT's doorstep. The DA went with a private phone company instead, but the state continued to bill the DA's office for nearly a year. The state says the DA's office owes nearly $93,000.
They are billing us for services that they're not providing. It would be illegal as a state agency to pay someone for services that they aren't providing. It would be ripping off the taxpayers.
DO-IT Cabinet Secretary Darrell Ackley says he never approved the DA's office to drop service, and he asked to see the contracts with the private phone provider and the service agreements. Ackley says he didn't get that paperwork, so he kept billing the DA's office. When they say they went out of the service and they eventually dump all those phones on your front office here, I mean, wasn't that announcement enough that they wanted out of the contract?
Yeah, that's fair, but I guess when if you move, you don't take your phone or your satellite box and drive it over to the satellite company and throw it on the door and say, quit sending me a bill. There's a formal process for a reason.
Secretary Ackley says the DA's office kept using 6 fax lines and a phone line until last week. And he says statute requires state departments to use DO-IT's phone system.
Here's somebody who's not playing in the sandbox, quite frankly.
But not everyone plays by the same rules. The legislature doesn't use the state's phone system. Neither do dozens of state agencies, district courts, and DA offices, although it's required by state statute. But Ackley admits his office doesn't have any enforcement power.
It's debated a lot. We fall back on, well, that's the law that's on the books.
The secretary says people paying the state for service keeps the whole system afloat and keeps the cost to taxpayers statewide down. But Brandenburg says their new private system saves Bernalillo County taxpayers $5,000 a month. Brandenburg suggests this may just be a case where policy is getting in the way of common sense. On special assignment, Kim Holland, KRQE News 13.
Brandenburg says she's worried that her annual state audit might find that she does have a large unpaid bill if this is not cleared up. Secretary Ackley is considering how to deal with that bill.